is more than what we think is happening when it came down to attacking Qatar. I just think there's more to it than that.
I'm telling you, Israel's trying to keep the war going. They want a global war. They want the region to light up. They want to involve America into a war before the administration ends and it shifts to blue. And with the current demographics, it looks like, Montani, it looks like, socialism is coming to America.
You think America would go and attack the Gulf states?
I think Israel wants to antagonize the region. I think Israel wants to start shit, and if it means starting shit with the Arab Gulf, then they don't care.
Okay, so you think America would be fine with Israel starting shit with the American Gulf states, which hold up the American economy, which it's been since 1972, part of the world order.
Because I believe America is complicit, this is also an internal threat. If the United States clearly isn't going to risk the petrodollar or the oil or the global trade, it's telling these Arabs, it's telling them that if you think my presence in your countries it guarantees you securities from anybody except me, you're wrong. And so that's what it is. Israel can also threaten you if it believes that even though we are harboring these people, this envoy, these diplomats, at the request of the United States, at the behalf of negotiating on the behalf of Israel, that they can still assassinate, and they don't respect your sovereignty, nor do they respect that the United States is involved in the very process. So they don't respect that. That's the message that we got. So America gave Israel the green light on this. Israel completely ran with it, and now we're left okay, so what is the value? Oh, he left. Oh, you're there. Okay.
So what is? Yeah, I got kicked off, and then I had to come back on. I heard you though.
What is the value of having this American military presence, and what's the value of buying all this shit?
So it's telling the Gulf states that there is no value.
Well, exactly. So now I believe what we're going to see is an arms race. I would arm up at this.
Wait, hold on. If it's telling them that there's no value, then why are they a part of the petrodollar system then? Why not move on to the petro yuan, which has been created?
No. See, I don't believe the leaders in these countries have enough power to just do that. They don't have, nor are they. Their wealth is set up for them to be able to do something like that. Just a lot of their wealth is based on dollars anyway.
So what happens if the Gulf states are no longer safe and can be attacked? Okay, how is that going to?
Dude, this is terrorism. I'm not meaning an invasion or something. This is meaning United States, Israel. You can think of regime changes. You could think of assassinations. That's all. That's pretty much it. It's that kind of.
It's the case that everyone knows that eventually it is in their interest to move away from the U.S. petrodollar and the U.S. sphere of influence. But it's I forget this economics term, but the one where we have 50 mice. They all know that to protect themselves they need to put a bell on the cat. But no one wants to be the mouse to do it.
Exactly.
Right. Everyone is scared to be the one who jumps ship while everyone else remains on the ship, and then the U.S. just comes and fucks them over.
See, though, Pastor, my issue is...
or the Palestinians, or that fire.
Yeah, I mean, the Palestinians, you're already in the jaws of the cat, so there's no...
We always are. I mean, that's... In any scenario, we always are. The thing is, though, Pastor... If the petrodollar is what props up the U.S. economy through America being able to have the reserve currency, why would America then go and antagonize that system? If anything, they would try to make sure that it is fully protected and sealed up.
But that's the thing, Edward. I don't think America, or even American leadership, necessarily wants this. That's why we always hear conflicting reports from the White House. One moment, Trump is angry about what Israel is doing. Another moment, no, he's okay with what Israel is doing, right? Where there's smoke, there's fire. Clearly, there are people in the American government who are extremely unhappy with these decisions and correctly identify them as uniquely destructive towards America. But how much influence those people have in comparison to the others in Jewish and Zionist lobbies is debatable. And it seems with each stroke Netanyahu pushes, every button he pushes, he seems to prove that, at least in his eyes, the Jewish lobby is stronger than the naysayers.
I'll buy that. So you're saying that America knows that going after the Gulf nations would be against American interests because it would be against the petrodollar scenario that they have set up. But at the same time, those people that know this are not the ones in charge and have the power.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. That I would buy. That makes sense.
I even think some of the ones in charge and have the power know this, but they also, know that they're in a sort of catch-22. Either they're in a catch-22 of where they feel they can't actually jump ship, or they're in a catch-22 of where do their loyalties really lie? Israel first or America first? Because the thing is, the straightforward solution for America is just to pull the plug on Israel and say, okay, you can bomb whoever you want, but we just don't care.
Well, I think they say you can bomb whoever you want, except these countries right here, which would make sense to me. And I even thought of with maybe Venezuela, taking over Venezuela, replace Saudi Arabia, and I dismiss this because currently now we need the Gulf states and Venezuela, because right now we have high inflation in the U.S. and that's a result of the U.S. dollar not being as circulated as it was before, because we have China and the global south who are not doing as much business in the U.S. dollar. They still are, but not as much. So replacing Saudi Arabia with Venezuela is not going to work. They need both Venezuela, Saudi Arabia, and the rest of the Gulf nations to counter China.
Yeah.
So it is, so to me, this was an attack on America more than an attack on Hamas.
Effectively, this does way more to U.S. interests than it does to Hamas. Didn't even apparently hit the guy that they were going after.
No.
Right.
But you're going after those that you're negotiating with. So why would you bring all this diplomatic bullshit on top of you and show the world that they were right? Everyone was right. You're not looking to end the war. You're looking to genocide. This is what your objective is. Why would you make it so black and white for everyone?
Because they don't care. Their survival depends on American involvement. So the Israelis are ironically also in a very big catch-22. They have no realistic objective from this war other than just to bomb because they're angry. The only way this ends up well for them is if the U.S. institutes regime change in certain countries that they deem hostile or otherwise balkanize and break them up.
Pastor, could you quickly update me? Don't strike Turkey.
Mikhail did that better with that network, saving paying more attention.
Please,
No
Turkey
attack
condemned
Turkey.
the Israel strike.
Yeah, they're calling them dogs.
No, it's funny. Do something. The Hezbollah guys.
What?
They don't actually do something. Is this what? Somebody was just calling. I was just saying the Hezbollah trolls on Twitter. I put a link in the chat. They're blaming Turkey and Qatar for Charlie Kirk's.
Really?
And they're just bots clearly, but it's still funny that they're putting forth this narrative.
Yeah.
And
That was
popping into fall.
That was a professional job, though. There's no doubt that was a professional.
People initially thought that it was like a bullet that ricocheted off his chest into his neck, but he wasn't wearing a vest. And if you rewatch the video, as graphic as it is, the straight shot entry into his neck. The blood wouldn't have spurted out that way.
Is it?
So they
It
have
seems
somebody.
like there's the balance. There's like a balance where he gets
Well,
like
the
it's like
shockwave,
double
right?
impact.
Was,
I don't know.
they said it was the shockwave from the book. I mean, regardless,
whatever,
I mean,
man,
that's
he's
not a
dead.
survivable wound, man.
He's dead, bro. I mean, that's a shot. I mean, it's not that hard of a shot. It's like 200 meters. Like it's not even that long.
Well, you do need to be at least proficient as a sniper.
This much, I wouldn't have made that shot. Fuck, man.
Dude, you can't even 30 or 40 feet away aiming. If you are not, a Marine could, like maybe 50 feet away, could make that shot. But you need to be a sniper.
Rifle, it wouldn't take you 2 weeks if you practice, like make something like that, like from an elevation, from a high position, like looking down, like
to shoot somebody in the neck.
I mean, I won't debate you on this. You have military training.
To shoot somebody in the neck. I think it's I don't know, and it happened the day after or the day.
It's a good shot. The guy is good. Like he's clearly. I mean, it's not that hard of a shot. Like there's no wind resistance. It's not that long of a shot. It's just like a close range. It's you at an elevation, like it's in a campus, like it's contained. There's no wind. Like it's all contained. So it's not a bad shot at all. I mean, but still,
what they say, Goo, about
you don't need to be what is his name, like Hitman. You don't need to be Hitman to make that shot. You don't need to be
the right guy though. The guy they called the right guy.
The guy that they
suspect.
The right guy that anyone thrown in as notification.
Wait, who is the suspect? Goo, what is he like? Or I don't know if they caught him yet or not, but they have $100,000 reward for anyone.
He's like some weirdo, like skinny. It's really hard to tell. Like,
there's actually videotape though. The guy getting arrested or something. There's any convincing evidence besides them telling us they caught the right guy.
I don't know.
They caught the old guy first, and they caught a second guy, and they released them both because they weren't the perpetrators. Now there's this new guy that they have.
They're trying to make up a narrative now.
I think they're profiling at this point.
So what is it? What's this new guy's name? Is he a white guy?
They have a name, but they haven't released it yet. They're saying they.
Why are they offering $100,000 reward for anyone leading to any information about this guy when they're not releasing any information about him to begin with?
They told me if you find him, then it's unlimited Taco Bell.
Listen, we're not going to go down that road again. We agreed that is not. It didn't happen.
$1,000 is enough. Like, especially with something like that. That's like you could easily get hit with like co-conspirator or accessory to, which would be considered terrorism because campuses are a no firearm zone. $100,000,
Yeah, but they're not releasing anything about the person that they want, but yet they're releasing a reward.
I'm saying the reward I don't think is enough.
Well, I mean,
The FBI
that's
is
just my opinion.
desperate at this point. I think the FBI is desperate. I think the FBI has switched to like profiling, and this guy, because he's wearing some sort of American flag thing, they're like, maybe we got some dirt.
Well, they had to have followed him, like through surveillance.
I would assume the first two they were probably following from some sort of like the first thing I would have picked up is the university campus, like cameras. They clearly
they have cameras, obviously.
So
they have cameras. So this guy though, do we have a picture of him?
Yeah, there's a picture of him.
Posted on X. It's going.
Oh, we do. Okay, that's why I was asking. Like,
hat, wearing a sweater with an American flag.
Nigga, who's we? Fuck the FBI.
It's a false flag.
Is he a white guy? What is
Looks like a white guy, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely.
No, he's a Zaya, brother. He's Ashkenazi.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Looks like an Ashkenazi.
But apparently 4chan, I don't know if you heard about this, Edward.
Yeah.
They conducted like their own little investigation.
Of course they did.
Yeah, and apparently it's like some like fucking like weirdo tranny. The
He's an ex-Muslim
ATF
fan,
agent
basically.
did say that they found like anti-fascist, like pro-trans, like inscriptions like on the ammunition or something to that effect.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And honestly, it wouldn't really surprise me. I mean, these fucking freaks. And it's funny that, like, and I'm not denigrating Charlie Kirk. I mean, the guy's dead, but like, it's like really Charlie Kirk. I mean, he's pretty moderate. I mean, he's not really as radical as they make him out to be. Like a Nazi, really. They think Charlie Kirk is a fucking Nazi. He's a fucking Zionist evangelical. What are we doing?
But he was becoming like. He was turning, dude. He was turning. I think he was critical of Israel. He was getting.
Yeah, he was talking about Epstein and Mossad. He was even having like a lot of anti-Zionist voices speak at TPUSA. So he was getting like a little cozy. Now, like I wouldn't put it past Israel to like take out one of their own. To be honest, they've done it before. Look at Robert Maxwell.
Most like explanation.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it happened happened the day after Qatar, right? I mean,
yeah,
that's a huge fucking coincidence to me. I don't know. I'm not saying
it's the biggest right-wing organization that has the most influence on the youth. Starts to do a 180. I mean, come on.
Oh, I don't know anything about Charlie Kirk.
I tell you what, the Israel representatives who talked to Charlie Kirk about a new contract or a new talking points, new section. They realize they're trying to deviate from the talking points, and they're like, you know what? Let's pull up another Hollywood JFK thing, and we're just going to blame it either on the Muslims or we're going to blame it on these liberals and cause like a chaos in America. That's what I think happened. And I think we owe some money as well.
I was confused. I was confused because he, they say he's an Islamist or anti-Muslim, right? Islamophobic.
Definitely.
And he says anti-Semitic things too. I'm like, well, what the hell is this guy?
He's a sucker for Israel. He eats the ass. He
said comments. He made comments.
Listen, I would not put it past Israel to do something like this. I mean, I don't have any proof that this is the case. I mean, we were only working with the information that we have. But it wouldn't surprise me, though, if the breadcrumb trail leads back to them.
Bro, he was going to release the Epstein files.
I'm saying I believe that he probably wanted to jump on the Epstein file. He wanted to get more edgy like Nick Fuentes because he realized he sounds boring, just spit out mainstream talking points. But when it comes to Israel, this guy was not anywhere close to anything anti-Semitic. Not because he's fucking scared of them. He was a coward till the day he died. And if he said something even edgy about Israel, it was like on a tight leash. So he was a sucker for Israel till the day.
Yeah, and this is not in defense of like any of the Zionist crap that Charlie Kirk used to spew, but I mean,
I didn't even know who Charlie Kirk was, bro, until he died.
Really? That's shocking, man. He's been pretty influential.
Wait, can you repeat that? I didn't hear it.
He said he didn't really know who Charlie Kirk was until.
I didn't either. I'll be honest. I didn't either.
Charlie Kirk was meant to make our generation think like our parents in the U.S. specifically. So if you're not like in your early 30s and younger in America, you're probably not going to know that much about Charlie Kirk.
No, I'm 48, so I don't know anything about. I didn't know anything about. Yeah, he got shot. I'm like, oh, okay, well.
I know about Andrew Tate more than I know about this guy.
Me too.
Andrew Tate does appeal to a broader audience than Charlie Kirk. Like, part of the reason why Charlie Kirk is so maligned is because, like, my generation is the one who, like, or I guess just before me, is the one who kind of realized that, okay, a lot of the stuff we learned in school and in the mainstream media is kind of, propagandist bullshit. Charlie Kirk, given his worldviews, embodies all the propagandist bullshit that, like, people despise. Right, like Pepe is actually the one who kind of broke this down about why a lot of people on the right, forget people on the left, but people on the right despise Charlie Kirk because they view him as just like a shill of like the mainstream, Zionist establishment.
That's how you know that these leftists who like call him a Nazi are completely fucking out of touch with like right-wing politics, because the far right that they paint as the enemy actually hated Charlie Kirk. Considered him.
They call everybody a Nazi, though.
A race cock and all this stuff. Yeah, the InfoWars co-host Harrison Smith said that he had spoken with someone who was like very close to Charlie Kirk. Now it's a secondary source, but he did say that Charlie Kirk was very.
You're breaking up, dude. Broke up suspiciously.
I was going to say to you as well, yeah.
Can you hear me?
I think.
What was the last thing you guys heard me say?
Very. That's it. There's a cliffhanger.
Okay,
Charlie Kirk something.
Yeah, I said that Harrison Smith, who's the co-host of InfoWars, said that he had spoken with someone who was close to Charlie Kirk. Although it's a secondary source, he did say that Charlie Kirk was deathly afraid of criticizing Israel or stepping on line in that regard. And he thought he was being hyperbolic. Like, he was just like, oh, they're going to kill me. Like, as in, like, they're going to, rip their funds away or whatever. But I think he was and now we see, if this is the case, right, that might be the case, so.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Just some food for thought. Again, I can't prove any of this. I'm just going by what people have been talking about, so.
Speculations, man.
I was surprised because that guy was funded by the Zionists from day one of his career. So if he was a deviated him, I see the emotional reason if he can just blast him and created him and now he's trying to run away from us. So I can see the emotional reason as to why they would do it. And Edward, I also want to say to you, for me, the reason you don't know this guy is because I think he's an industry plant. He's basically astroturfed. He's fake. And he basically got forced into everyone's timelines. That's what all of us know him. He's very unimpressive and just like spitting out the mainstream talking points, saying nothing creative.
Well, the thing is,
My timeline is all AI and
He did all
Palestinian.
those fucking libtards.
no, but that's the thing. The reason why people know Charlie Kirk.
No, I think Benjamin Ford did a bad job.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I think Charlie Kirk said you won't be able to find from at least like 40% of Republicans in Congress. The only thing that made Charlie Kirk famous is that he went and said it to the easiest, most triggerable, emotional, irrational people in the U.S.
Yeah.
Just American university students.
Yes, yeah, that makes sense.
I think it's also industry plant. He was definitely boosted up on the algorithm, his funders. He's definitely had to push. He's not like other people organic with these teams that come up in authentic journeys. This guy's an industry plant.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was, TPUSA was bankrolled by the Mercer family and the Koch brothers, Betsy DeVos, all these, like, Fortune 500 billionaires and, like,
These are the same people who are opening settlements in the West Bank, getting houses there.
This is an Instagram thing, a clip that I saw of his, and he talks about like criticizing Israel.
Yeah, he got
feels like it's.
Yeah, he got chewed out for interviewing Dave Smith, who's like a libertarian, like anti-Zionist Jew. Mind you, Dave Smith is, again, he like mildly criticizes Israel. It's not really like like it's the Jews and they're controlling the media. Doesn't attack Israel from that angle.
I'm just saying he looks scared. He looks scared.
Yeah, absolutely.
My favorite Jew from that angle is.
I mean, look at him. Look at this video. He looks like he's very careful in the way he's, selecting what he's about to say. Like I don't know. There's not a lot of people in this world that you could get an American to like kind of be that careful. Like,
do you know about Max Blumenthal?
Yeah, that piece.
Yeah. Gray zone.
You don't like him? I love that guy.
I like him.
Because on his publication, The Gray Zone, this guy, I'm forgetting his name, he's some Israeli turned anti-Zionist or whatever. And he wrote an article. He wrote an article covering up for the dancing Israelis on 9/11 and said, they weren't really celebrating, and we need to be wary of anti-Semitic conspiracies.
Aaron Marte.
Not Aaron Matei, it's another guy.
There's only two guys I like. I don't know what the rest of the clips though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Max Blumenthal is a sharp shooter, bro. He doesn't hold back, bro. He's a sharp guy.
Blumenthal was the one that went to Israel and the West Bank and did that tour last year and exposed the stage.
David Sheen, that's his name.
You're right, dude. He's a brave guy. He was doing that stuff way before everyone knew about Palestine was going right now. He was in Israel, he was showing people how fascist the people are. Max Blumenthal is probably one of my favorite journalists in my lifetime. He's amazing still. I don't agree with him everything, but he's amazing.
His October 7th documentary, I can't deny, was like really
Even the
He
countries.
exposed the stage that Israel had set up at the border of Gaza last year with the oversized binoculars and the school buses of teenagers, or from high school or junior high, whatever. They were coming in to get on this stage, this platform, and to use the binoculars to see if they can sight Palestinians being killed. And I mean, he was the one that exposed that, and he was there when school buses were pulling up.
So Israel is saying that Qatar has to choose now either to condemn Hamas and kick it out, or Israel is going to do it for it.
I mean, this is getting.
I think Qatar's really angry and they're really talking to the GCC countries trying to get a response. But I don't think Qatar's gonna lay flat.
No, Qatar is a very powerful GCC country. They've spent their money wisely, and they have a lot of soft power.
I'm just loving it, dude. Like, they're calling them out, like, straight up. Like, hey, we're calling you out. Like, I thought it's like, I'm like, let me get this straight. You guys are calling me out. I'm like, yeah, we're calling you out. It's like, okay.
But they want. I mean, they're the mediators.
And they're pushing to. And that's funny part as well. They push into Iran's hands when they're talking about all this geopolitics.
It's no secret that really Qatar is the intelligentsia, it's the beating heart of the cause, of the Palestinian cause. It is, seriously. Like Al Jazeera, if it wasn't for Al Jazeera, like, honestly, I don't know if
right.
cause. Right. And if it wasn't for the financial support from Qatar, again, they pretty much bankrolled Gaza.
But it went through Netanyahu, the millions of dollars too.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like this is new. And on top of this,
it was a delay.
Doha, I mean,
gave people in Gaza some semblance of life under Hamas and in the light of a siege, in a time where Netanyahu was going to conduct. Israel was going to conduct such an attack to begin with, eventually.
Of course, yeah. But Israel sent their delegations multiple times to Doha, so they legitimized the negotiations and negotiating, and the U.S. did too, and the U.S. Wanted Doha to be the mediator, and
no, this is them flipping the table, dude. They just flipped the table. They're done negotiating, man. They're not negotiating after this.
I agree with Edward though. That's really exposed himself, because I watched the interview with the Qatari official with CNN, and he really destroyed Netanyahu. He didn't even make no personal attacks. He simply stated the facts, talking about how he's broken every single rule in the rule book. This guy's not civilized, and it's so because what he's running is the unprecedented thing.
Yeah, he went the floor with him. Yeah.
He really did break. I mean, Israel did break massive rules, diplomatic norms that just aren't broken. And it did do a lot of damage to Israel's credibility.
No chivalry in war, right? That's what they say, right?
Except for diplomats.
The whole UN Assembly pretty much was a grilling session for Israel, not one person. And all the Arab countries use the word Irhab al-Dawla, which is like what is the word in English? Irhab al-Dawla.
What is that, Mikhail?
State-sponsored terrorism.
Okay.
Yes. Not one country didn't say that word.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
From Qatar to Kuwait to Pakistan, even Pakistan came out and kind of shitted on Israel at the end. And dude came out, the Israeli representative, and he said, "What you talking about? Like, America came and assassinated Osama bin Laden on your own soil. Like, nobody blame it."
How about Saudi Arabia, Z? Did they have anything to say?
Yeah, he said, "We are backing Qatar at any position it would take. All the GCC,
GCC,
yeah, behind it. Totally, Egypt as well. Like, it's. I mean, thank you.
Israel is a risk, and if the Arabs thought that America is gonna contain Israel once it implodes, no. So Israel's like, I'm not gonna go down. I'm gonna implode, and I'm gonna take a lot of you guys with me. And like, who wants to start shit? Like this is what the Israel we're seeing today. And I don't know.
You can enjoy the airspace, and then we gonna fuck you on the ground. We get millions of people on the fucking borders.
I mean, we Arabs don't want a total war with Israel. The Jews, we don't need a total war.
No, we don't. They can do it for themselves.
Implode on your own. Don't take us out with you, you terrorists.
Yeah.
You know, just realize Israel is a raw pariah state, right?
Oh, you just realize this?
And it's also, have you heard about this? The prediction that in 80 years,
yeah.
And it's getting to 80 years, so you see, it might be repeating itself.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I don't believe in that kind of shit, but I can't deny the pattern. I mean, I just can't deny the pattern.
How many weeks has it been since like they announced their operation on Gaza City? Like, has it been like 2 weeks now? Or what?
It wasn't. They scaled it back to the operation. What they call it? The gate, opening the gates of hell, which is a scaled back version, which I forgot what it entailed, but it wasn't. But I know.
How many gates?
It doesn't even have a nice ring to it.
Like they've been saying.
But they're not. But it wasn't about going into Gaza City though.
They came into Gaza City at least 4 times.
Well, they're on the outskirts of Gaza City, and they have gone in and gone out very quickly. But actually going in, destroying and occupying, that they have not done.
They not
occupying. Don't you see?
Destroying the buildings.
You get the true mentality of Israel behind the military operation names. You truly understand Israel when you really focus on the operation.
I think the name was chosen to overcompensate for the fact that the operation was not going to be going into Gaza City and occupying or destroying Gaza City.
No, they want to torture us, dude. That's what they want to do.
I don't think they're ready to go in. I don't think they have enough resources to go into Gaza City.
And in the meantime,
I think they're afraid of going in.
In the meantime, they can mow the lawn.
No, mowing the lawn is way. I mean, we're way past mowing the lawn.
The lawn is
mowing the lawn was just cut down. Destroy a little bit of Gaza, here and there, just enough to disrupt their economy, make sure that the people, like you don't grow, you don't grow. That's what mowing. Here, it's about tilling the land, if you want to use another, the similar analogy. Because there's no lawn to cut down at this point.
I'm so confused. How did so many millions of Christians in the Western world get brainwashed into supporting poor people from the same land Jesus Christ grew up in, getting genocided by some fake Jews?
I still feel like Christians. There are no more Christians. They're all dead. All the saints are waiting to be resurrected when Jesus comes. All the Christians are dead. All the saints are dead. When Jesus comes, they'll be resurrected. There are no Christians, man.
If there were Christians, they would be helping the Palestinians protect the Christian holy sites. That's what they would be doing. That's what they should have been doing all these decades.
That's an actual fact from a religious point of view, but just beyond that, just a human experience. Like people under the rubble, poor people caged up like animals, the land getting stolen,
the mainstream
church of the land. It's like every movie.
Condemned this already. The mainstream church has condemned this already. But
and you know what? To be fair, to the Catholic Church and Orthodox Church, you never seen take no. Most of the state church, the Orthodox Church obviously got the most at stake. But oh my God, these Western Christians, they're ashamed to the name of Christianity.
You're talking about
there are no Christians.
I don't know, dude, you're talking about this very specific subset.
Even here in England, the Church of England and whatnot.
You can't say Western.
The Church of England.
You can't this evangelical Zionist so-called Christianity isn't normative in Europe as it is in the United States. So you can't say Western. It's a
What's the Western on
It's-
America?
The Church of England and the churches that's in communion with some of them have like literally adopted BDS as official church position. But none of these people have military power, economic power, military might. All that is concentrated in the hands of the evangelical. The evangelical, well, he's made his worldview clear. Dispensationalism, cockery, Jews are God's chosen people, cockery, and all sorts of other heresies that they spout, so...
Was David Smith, real quick, was David Smith, did he run for president last year? Was he the guy that tried to run?
No idea.
No.
No. I
think he might have. I'm not sure.
He was on the Secular Talk, and they were interviewing him, and he was running, and he was talking about, some pro-Palestinian stances, and everything, and then he got into how Jews are the victim, we're victims, and then Secular Talk, what's his name, Kyle Kalinske, he got on him and said, oh, wait, hold on, you're victims now. You're back to being a victim. No, we're not doing that. We're not going back to the victim mode here.
Well, Dave Smith's not a Zionist, though.
Yeah, I know. He wasn't a Zionist. That's the thing. That's why they had him on. And he was doing good until he started talking about, how Jews have been, victims, and they're the victims of, I forgot how he put it, but...
Yeah,
and then,
this is why I'm, wary of, anti-Zionist Jews, because they still reaffirm that narrative, that victimhood narrative. Yeah, they're insufferable.
I'm gonna find some funny about these Western Jews, evangelicals to be specific, yeah? Well, they make a mock of themselves. I see video of them in Israel, some rabbi, and he say to his pastor, whatever he is, oh, you know Jesus, he's a Jew, you know that, right? We're Jews. You should not worship one Jew, you should worship all Jews. And the pastor, the Christian guy there just nodding his head, trying to be polite. He said to Muslim, you can fly kick in the face.
If Christianity is anything, it's gonna be like the days of Christ. If Christ is preaching a message and you believe in him, and you go and you participate in corruption and death and hedonism and all of this, are you truly a follower of Christ? The whole message is to follow him, to follow his example. These people, they're not Christian anymore. It's gone. That thing is gone. They've abandoned the churches. They don't follow any of the churches anymore. They rebelled against them.
It's funny, the Western Christians claim Islam is incompatible with the West and incompatible with Christianity and their values and stuff like that. If you actually see a picture of Jesus in the church, yeah, he looks like a Muslim bro. He wears a full black kameez, he's got a big beard.
well,
They rebelled.
but
They rebelled against their church.
wait, this incompatible,
And their kings.
And we're alien apparently.
this incompatible trope that's been out for years started dissolving with the right on the right here in the U.S. because of the agenda, left-wing liberal agenda that they tried to force on all of Americans, and then some I don't know how this happened, but Islamic values started lining up with I don't want to say Christian values, but they call them Christian values, Republican values, and they wanted so they wanted to work together. I've so many Republicans have come up to me saying, how do we work with the Muslim community because of what's happening in our schools and this whole big liberal agenda, and we both, and the Muslims knew about this before we did, and they set up their own schools and we didn't, and how do we work with them and to get them to work with us? And I'm like, well, they don't need you. We don't need to work with you. You shit on us for 25 years, more than that, but since 9/11, and now you want to work with us, but yeah, strangely enough, that
In Egypt,
there's no compatibility.
Egypt is by the way, the security of Qatar is the security of Egypt. Qatar is.
Oh, really?
And they sent yesterday, a very high volume warning to Israelis. So, like, if anything happens, we will open the gates of hell.
You know, confuses me. From a geopolitical point of view, America's own hegemony over the planet they got, right? It would make sense to have friendly relationship with the, the Gulf countries, even Iran, because of the amount of natural resources to have, gas, and you'd be thinking.
Dude, we're talking millions of people. Where America gonna fight? Like, America gonna fight all of them on their land? They're gonna get decimated.
Instead, it is doing exactly the opposite of what a geopolitical strategy should be, right? And why would that be? It is because it is not really in charge. It is a subject state. And it's subject by who? By Israel.
Subject government, not state.
I'm sorry. We can take on Israel. We just don't have the capability to like do these surgical strikes on Israel, so we don't have that Air Force.
You do have rockets, you just need an alignment.
We got weapons of mass destruction. That's what we got. We got ability to go to war, total war. We just don't have surgical strike capabilities, and at this point, it's like testing.
When you open chaos gates, chaos come to you. Like once you start destroying like in all of the freaking region around, there is nothing to hold on to.
You already saw you started a domino effect. I don't think there's any doubt anymore. Like I'm not crazy when I told you guys this is gonna go, and it's gonna be Turkey versus Israel, and you're gonna see a coalition. And this is gonna happen. It's gonna go there, and the next theater is Syria. The next theater is gonna be Syria.
It's going down. We've been saying that from the beginning. Like this is not gonna stop.
Mikhail, what do you think about Syria? Do you think they're sellouts or do you think they're wrong Muslim?
No, I think Syria is just gonna, this is gonna be the Arab horde. Like this is where it's gonna show up from. Like Syria, the Egyptians are gonna do their thing. Like and the Turks are gonna be there. Like this Arab horde is gonna come with Turks, backing them. So it's. If Israel's gonna push this, like it's gonna happen, man.
This is also the time of his training. Like all the people that align themselves with Israel at this time is traitors. So outright known who's standing by who at when. Like this is done. It's a done deal.
UAE is done. UAE is unredeemable.
It's trying to correct as we speak, like, trying to align itself again. So we'll see.
I'll refuse to even support a country to go on holiday.
I think economically the trajectory isn't in the favor of the United States, and I think like if the conflicts that we see in the world are not gonna they're not calming down, and they're just like the trajectories that they're gonna grow. We're looking at a global conflict eventually, like regional conflicts that are escalating, and they're just gonna eventually meet. And this seems to be what's happening, man. It seems like the world is boiling. Like I didn't know shit about Nepal, and then all of a sudden these guys are like, chasing down their prime ministers, and they're like burning everything.
Look what was happening right before.
You know how America says death to America and death to Israel, and it calls big Satan, small Satan. We should start doing big Satan Israel and small Satan UAE. They're a real shit dance, man. What's the world, man?
You stole that from Iran.
Nasılsın kardeşim?
It's given. Look what was happening before October 7. It was like infiltration to the education system all over the Arab world.
Abi nasılsın abi?
Is he speaking Turkish? I don't know.
I have no idea.
He's trolling, kicking down.
He was sent here by princes.
İyiyim, sen nasılsın?
Like thing. What's happening?
They're friends. I don't know.
Hello guys, you right? So I'm from Turkish, guys.
Okay.
Are you Muslim?
No, I'm not Muslim, bro.
Oh, that's strange. What part of Turkey from?
He's the camel.
We speak Turkish here, man.
I don't care. Like, even if you're a Kemalist, like, you should be on our side too. Like, at the end of the day, like, Israel can't have hegemony in this region. Like, Israel isn't gonna bully all of us. else.
Fuck off, man. Shut up.
He's talking about Mustafa Kemal.
I know.
Brother,
Like the Israelis are threatening you directly now. They're like calling Turkey out. Like, what are you gonna let this happen? You love Turkey. You love the country.
Okay, so here's what confuses me though about your analysis is how do you square that with Turkey being a NATO ally and beholden to the United States?
Bro, the Turks, they are all about
both sides.
the Turks gotta play. The Turks are more in check.
I don't think you understand what it means to be a NATO member, bro. Like, what are you talking about?
I play both sides.
They are a member of NATO. That means they answer to the United States.
They have coordination with the United States. Okay, sure. So what?
I wouldn't just call that coordination.
I mean, but that leaves you up on a level of a military standard. Like, if Turkey wasn't part of NATO, how would the Muslim world even have a comprehension of like NATO and military class? Like, how would they know?
But he's right, Domenico. Turkey is fully infiltrated by America.
Dude, your jets are your jets. You build up your drones. You got tanks. Like this is a military. It's not like the Turks ever lost. I mean, the Turks never lost their military doctrine.
That's so much that
the Ottoman military doctrine was never lost. Like the Turks are a continuation of a military mind.
Not only are they a NATO member, which means they are beholden to an institution powered by the United States. Mikhail, they're hosting American nuclear weapons.
Yeah, which makes them even greater of a threat. Like wait a second. Like, if Turkey wanted to go rogue tomorrow, let's assume a scenario. Do you think, like, Turkey can't? Like, is it, like, an impossible thing? Like, what? They're not going to be able to launch their aircraft, like, anymore?
Yeah, but they don't... Oh, are you talking about nuclear?
No, I'm talking about, like, just go, like, rogue against NATO, like just disconnect from NATO. Like, I don't want to deal with you guys anymore.
No, that's not how it works.
Sorry. I'm just saying, let's assume there's like I don't know, some Islamist takeover. I don't know, some hostility. Like, a war with Israel and no response from NATO would pretty much do that. Like, I don't.
So you think Turkey is going to go to war with Israel?
I think Turkey, the Turkish military, is totally capable of engaging in military operations across its borders without any assist by NATO.
I don't doubt that, hostilities are there, and it's only going to go south from there. Yeah, I'm sure things are going to happen. There might be, a proxy war that might take place. They might sever ties diplomatically. I'm sure that's going to ensue, right? The more things heat up in the region. But to suggest that Turkey is going to pose an existential threat to Israel by military means, I mean, that's preposterous. That's never going to.
I don't believe that. That this coalition, this rising coalition, is going to be desiring to engage in a total war against Israel. The whole thing about Israel is containment. Like, it's going to implode on its own. It already is. We can't get rid of the Palestinians. The Palestinians, that reaction is so violent. It's just, they're imploding already. So we just got to contain them.
Okay, so what's holding back Kalani Syria from diplomatically supporting Palestine?
They don't have a power.
What do you mean? Wait, say that again?
He already, supports us. Like, what do you want from him to do? Like,
wait, what do you mean by support you guys?
Like, he doesn't condemn. What do you want? What do you want him to do?
Military? I mean, they don't.
What do you want him to do?
Why was this so easy for Iran to do on day one of the overthrow of the Shah amidst the Cold War between the U.S. and the Soviet Union?
These Iranians got oil. Syria got nothing.
They have nothing. Well, they surely are a huge geopolitical chess piece enough for the Russians to get involved.
Yeah,
they are pretty significant. No,
for the Chinese, for the supply lines, trade lines. Yes, but what do you want the Syrians to do? They're rebuilding their own country. it's not like they could do much for anyone else.
Dude, they
Palestinians
gotta
or
build up some infrastructure, some economy going, and get like Turkish
Yes,
leases off the
and yes,
ground, and
building
get,
infrastructure.
we gotta build the infrastructure. Like,
Yes,
what do you want us to go
building
pick up some
infrastructure
rubber
and
on
bettering
Israel?
the country economically means getting closer to the West and cozying up to the United States, which is something you don't want to do if you want to antagonize Israel. That doesn't make any
That's not
sense.
They want the
diplomacy,
sanctions,
though.
dude. That was the whole point, to get the sanctions removed, and that was the whole, and it worked. So now it's just about
you think this,
building.
This is
It's about building a Turkish military presence and infrastructure in Syria, and that's getting bombed, man. Like, this isn't easy. It's not an easy job.
This is a 3D chess move, is what you're.
Yeah. This is a build-up. This is an encroachment.
So when Jelani talks about building a Trump Tower in the middle of Damascus, this is all about getting closer.
But this is
building up enough capital in Syria to antagonize.
This is us playing with a child.
Yeah, exactly. This is like, look, what did Qatar do for? Wait, hold on. What did Qatar do? For Trump, they gave him a 747. Why? They couldn't do anything with it. It was 13 years old. They had no buyers for it, and they're like, just give it to this guy. It will make him happy.
They also did it because they're rivaling. Remember back in the days when Saudi Arabia and other Gulf countries put boycotts on Qatar for those years, and America supported it. They're also basically trying to get Trump's influence over other Gulf countries, over Saudi and stuff like that.
No, they gave that 747 literally because they couldn't get rid of it. Like, they didn't know what else to do with it. They had so many planes.
I want, Mikael, you still haven't articulated how this is going to result in the absolute downfall of it.
Check Pakistan. How Pakistan got its nuclear.
Okay,
Israel wants to do.
Nothing that has transpired. Okay, nothing that has
the
transpired since the fall of Assad up until right now, in this very moment,
That's less
shows
than a
that
year.
they're pursuing a policy of containment.
Wait,
That is less than a year, and they've been under the revolution for like 14 fucking years to get Assad off. Don't worry about it. We don't count it that way. The West way of thinking is different than the East. Totally different.
It's just strategy, bro. At the end of the day, if Syria ends up going,
you can't say that. You don't know what's going on in the minds of people who are governing Syria. You can't say that.
Why are you stuck on Syria, though?
No, I'm stuck on Syria because Syria played a huge role. Okay, the fall of Assad and the arming of rebels in Syria, facilitated the isolation of Iran, which is beneficial to Israel. What you guys don't see, you think that this is some sort of
Sunni Syria would be a much greater threat to Israel.
Do I need to reference the white papers?
A Sunni Syria would be a much greater threat. Sunni Syria,
and Israeli knows that.
Mikael, that's not
true. It's a much more serious threat. Yes. Mikael,
that's not true. That's not. No, I
That
can
is
read you the
100% true.
I can read you the clean break policy paper and the Oded Yanon plan.
You know the clean break
This is a cult.
Assad is a bitch.
This is your sectarian getting in. This is your sectarian getting in the way of your
not.
thinking.
It's like
Let me explain.
the roll of the dice. It's not.
That's a bitch. Look at his feeble face. I'm not gonna let this fucking
Let me explain.
rule
It
over
doesn't
us.
matter.
Not only that,
you claim to get on the path.
It's not about
If you would let me finish
protects
speaking. If you let me finish speaking.
The Syrian military's garbage.
If you let
Come
me
on, man.
finish
Look at this
speaking.
fucking tanky military. Like, what is this?
You're a
World War
hypocrite
II.
because
Hold on.
What are you like? We're gonna liberate Palestine via Assad's World War era army, like Assad's Cold War era army is gonna liberate us from Israel.
Nobody said that.
This is actually the game of the West to play on a minority group. Like, how could you
Israel,
see that?
since we're gonna put it all out on the board, Israel is using Assad to facilitate the Yalon plan in Syria. That's what it is.
That's not true. It's the dynamic opposite. Have you read the Yanon plan? I don't think you've read the Yanon plan. The plan was to have a Sunni state in the middle of Syria, with a Druze state right near the Golan
Exactly.
Heights.
So they want to cut it off.
They want to cut off the country on ethnic lines. An Alawite state.
And who's asking for the Israeli to dance?
You guys aren't letting me finish because you guys are speaking about things you haven't read about.
Wrong,
Wait a
you just
second.
mentioned them.
The goal is to have a Sunni state as the dominating government in Syria.
Far in the north. Far in the north.
In the south, near the Golan Heights, okay?
It's Jews.
It's going to be Jews. We
an
already know
enclave that they want for the
We know
They want the Alawites and Latakia.
We're Arabs.
And then, okay, you're Arab, so you know everything.
No, we know the game. We know the game.
So the Arabs know everything.
We know
the
they
game.
want to make them, they want to turn it into ethno-states. We know they want to do that. We know. But the reason they weren't able to do that.
Sunni governance.
Okay, dude, just calm down. So, if I'm gonna go and create ethno-states, if I want to do this in America, I swear we had this conversation before. If I want to go do this in America today, what I would do is weaken white people. That's what I would do. Why? Because white people are the majority, and they're the overwhelming majority. So I have to weaken them before I divide America into ethno-states. And the same thing in Syria. If I have to divide Syria into ethno-states, I'm going to have to weaken the main demographic in Syria, which is the Sunnis. Because the Sunnis,
Actually,
they're everywhere.
You just need to weaken the governing ruling ideology. Now the Alawites.
Yeah, that's not the Oden Yanan plan.
Those were nonsense. It was always the sectarian.
No, you want to divide. You want to divide the Middle East into small ethno-sectarian states.
I encourage you to read the Oden Yanan plan. Again, you speak about things that you haven't actually read.
I'm literally describing to you exactly what it is.
On Twitter.
No. We've read it on Clubhouse. I've pinned it in the Pastor knows. They've seen it before. I've been popularizing it.
If you read it, you wouldn't have come to such preposterous conclusions.
No. It literally is dividing up the Middle East into sectarian ethno-states, where Israel can establish hegemony over all these smaller states.
They want to
balkanize
and they want the ruling majority of Syria.
And enter that there's no Arab unity.
Throughout history, the only
you will have a court.
They didn't go divide up is because there was Sunni authority. There was central power. That's why these guys stay in tow. So the only way to go and divide all this region up is to weaken Sunni power. That's what it is.
No,
and so that's what they're committed. Assad's been doing that. Whether you like it or not, that's the fact.
If that were the case, why did the United States support the Islamists in Syria against the Syrian government? If it's a net negative to the interests of both the United States and Israel, why did they support the rebels in Syria?
There was a push. So in Syria, there were several groups, and one of the ones that have been pushing is a group that was backed by Saudi Arabia. And yeah, maybe they wanted that one to rule over Syria. I'm not sure exactly where they wanted to go with Syria. Everybody knows that revolution. There were so many factions backed by so many countries: Saudi Arabia, Turkey, United States, France, even. Like there was so many foreign actors in that, but that's what it was, and then Russia kicked in.
And if that's what it was, with all those foreign actors, basically funding this foreign terrorist insurgency.
I mean,
what was the ultimate goal?
I'll give you the ultimate goal.
Was the toppling of
the ultimate goal. There was, I think, was to just Assad now was occupied by Russia. It just gave Syria to Russia at that point. So Syria was now under Russian control. I believe it was better for the West to have a Syrian Russia than it was for them to have a Sunni Saudi, Syria, or an independent Syria, or whatever, a Turkish-backed Syria. So it's beneficial.
That doesn't make any sense. That does not reflect
Israel and Russia do work together. Israel and Russia do work together.
Listen,
just because of all
Mikhail,
the
you're
references.
wrong. You're just imposing your category of
Russia,
mind on this.
Russia.
This is just not.
Are you telling me that Russia opposes Israeli interest in the region?
I'm not saying they do, but what I'm saying is that Russia did in
So it is at least in the favor of Israel. It's in the favor of Israel, right?
You're not letting me
It's in the
finish.
favor of Israel.
You're not letting me.
But it is
No,
in
it's
favor
not
of
in the
Israel.
favor.
For
No, it's
Russia,
not
so.
in the favor of
think
Israel
it is.
because Israel did not want. No. You think it is, but it's not.
You can't beat
The reason why the Russians interfered, the reason why the Russians intervened in Syria is to prevent a Sunni corridor going all the way up to Chechnya, which would have been a national security liability. That was in their
You're
interest.
still thinking about Chechnya. Khalas, Chechnya's gone.
I'm telling you what the
Do you
Kremlin
think the Russians are
said.
fighting in the 21st century in Syria because they want, like, they're thinking about Chechnya?
Yes, the Caucasus is a very
Fuck me, dude.
Fuck
And I think you're completely out of touch, and you're forgetting the amount of influence that
Are you
the
guys for
Islamists
real?
had on the Caucasus.
Dude, I mean,
It's about Chechnya at the end of the day. Like,
every Russian.
Please read into Russian foreign policy. I know what you're talking.
Yeah, dude, every Russian of every major ethnic demographic still has a very deep distrust and fear of Chechens being in their society. Like, a lot of Russians.
what does this have to do with Syria and Russia having access to warm waters?
They don't want an
They have warm
Islamic
water. That's what they want. They want warm waters.
Yeah.
And they've put themselves in a place where they are working in the interest of Israel. So meanwhile, they're practically the broke queen, the Israel and Syria.
You don't think there's a connection between the rise of ISIS and the intervention of Russia in Syria?
Yeah,
They're directly correlated.
I think Russia was already in Syria. You had Assad already in Syria.
They didn't interfere. They didn't intervene until 2015.
Yeah, because they wanted Assad begging on his knees for the Russians, like selling everything out.
Wait,
and he
they?
did.
Who's they?
I believe the West, Russia, Israel.
The West was vehemently opposed to Russia's intervention.
exactly.
Listen, the West didn't want the Arab Spring to happen. The Arab Spring
No,
happened.
in fact, they encouraged it. You're a liar. You know what you're talking about.
No,
No, that's not true. This is false.
The Arab Spring did happen,
No.
and the Arab Spring was a matter of time for the Arab Spring to happen.
We're talking about a
I'm sorry, you
9/11.
don't know the street.
A 9/11 project manager,
People were boiling.
Chicken Hawk, Philip Zelikow, okay, ultra-Zionist Jew, okay, son of a rabbi, celebrated the Arab Spring. He helped Hillary Clinton overthrow Muammar Gaddafi, and what did he say? Oh, this is going to ignite a new Arab Spring. This is in our interest. He said that in the email.
I'm
We're just
sorry.
gonna disregard that.
Muammar Gaddafi.
Hillary Clinton says in her
Muammar
email, the best
Gaddafi.
way to help Israel is to overthrow the government,
Can't
topple
use
the
one
government of
example.
Bashar al-Assad.
Yeah.
Just completely disregard what Hillary
This is
Clinton
just
said,
so-
right? Hillary Clinton, the Secretary of State under Barack Obama, doesn't matter, right? This is part of the acid wash of the emails, right? That doesn't matter, right, Mikhail? Because again, your sectarianism is getting in the way of your line.
Let me tell you. So there is the Arab Spring, and then there's the counter-revolutions, and then there's those who wanted to take advantage of the situation for their own agenda, which obviously the United States and the West. And so the Arab Spring is naturally there are people that, again, this is one nation. Like, regardless of Libya and all you see these borders, at the end of the day, it's all one nation. It's all one people. And eventually what is in one region is going to happen in some other region. And everybody was already fed up. It was only a matter of time. And so people, naturally, there were uprises. And obviously what happened in Libya, Gaddafi, with all due, I tapped the head. The guy, he said some bold things. I think they were obvious things for the times. I think he played some cards. But at the end of the day, he's a failure. Regardless of what he did, he's a failure.
It's funny how your foreign policy...
And you knew they were coming for you regardless.
But what's funny
how
to
long?
me...
But let me finish.
What's funny to me... Wait, hold on, wait. I just want to
How
say
long
this
did
one
the
thing.
people
I have to
need to
make this
suffer?
point, because I need this room to know this, is that Sunni Muslims typically always somehow, in some way, shape, or form, always align with the United States and Israel when it comes to their foreign policy takes. This is not a coincidence. And it's not a coincidence that you're saying this as an Islamist when it was Islamists who overthrew Gaddafi and shoved the pipe up his ass. It was Al Qaeda.
Do we want
These
World
were
War
the same
III?
terrorists.
Oh, it
And look,
depends on what scenario.
and
It
you have
depends
to
on what scenario.
understand.
Do we want World War
You
III,
have to
or do we want
understand the
like Israel
timeline.
to be just
You have to
warfare,
understand the
self-imploding?
timeline.
Like which one?
You have to understand the timeline.
I don't really want
after
World
Gaddafi,
War III.
after Gaddafi was killed, right? It led directly into the civil war in Syria. Directly. Those same rebels then started flooding into Syria and started antagonizing the Syrian government. This is also
we know
something
where
that
the
was noted.
revolution began.
This is
We
also
know the
something that
early
was noted
protests.
and the exchange of emails that Hillary Clinton had.
We know.
They were watching this from start to finish.
We know
But you
the
denied it,
early
though.
protests. We know where it started. We know the people were killed. We know the graffiti that it all started with. We have the whole narrative down. We know that there's been previously a history of uprising in Syria against his very father. We know that there's over 100,000 who were killed in that. So we know that there is a Sunni consciousness. There is a Sunni consciousness in Syria that is oppressed, and view Assad as an oppressor and view him as someone who is a godless motherfucker who just uses Israel as an excuse to continue his military dictatorship. And that's what it's all about. And then he uses Arabism to hide that he's an Alawite motherfucker. That's what it is. And he has sold his soul to the devil. So this guy and his father have used the struggle.
Wait, but what's confusing
And the only thing that has been working out, the only thing that Assad has been progressively succeeding at is that the UNO plan is balkanizing Syria and putting us, and now we see the Kurds, who are now backed by the United States, they're putting up a front. And we got the Druze, who are half-armed by IDF Druze themselves, or by their weapons and their snipers and their night scopes and shit, and by tactical air support, apparently. So that's what we got. And we got an Alawite population that, still has Druze, still has Ba'athist sympathists, and now they're trying to do this Alawite jihad movement, and now we're seeing some SUVs being blown up. So this is what we have. This is Syria post-Assad. This is what Assad got us to. So now we have to deal with all this. Now we have to go and subjugate all these motherfuckers again. So this is what it is. We see that this is a combat. You're combating Sunni presence and dominion over these lands. That's what it is. That's what's happening.
Wait, are you saying that?
And that's what Israel does.
Wait, German. Wait a second. So are you saying that because of the overthrow of Assad, that Syria is now in a perpetual state of destabilization? Is that what
I'm saying? That now that we've removed the shithole that is Assad, when we've tried to assist this de-animation of Syria that is happening, this is the aspect. This is the spectrum that you're seeing. You're seeing all these. You're seeing sectarianism, and you're seeing these ethno states that are literally about to pop out.
You literally
they're literally. Okay, but who got us to this state? That's
literally the goal.
Who got us to this state?
Mikhail. That's the
No. The Assad should have Syrian society shouldn't have been shaped like this. The Syrian society itself has already been antagonized, and this antagonism comes from the Assad regime itself, yet alone from the historical understandings we have with these groups. These groups do not want our interest. They have genuine animosity towards Sunnis, man. It's just a fact. The Alawite and the Druze will stab me, bro. They'll literally eat me, and they'll put me in their stew, and they'll have a good time doing it.
Don't feel the same way.
No, I'm sorry. You see the Druze right now.
Oh,
you see the Druze jumping. You see these
The
motherfuckers
only
jumping
thing is when
across
you
the
are a
Israeli
traitor,
border.
dude. Like when that happened,
God, Druze
when
are
actually that
motherfucking
happened
traitors,
for the
bro.
sake of what they believe.
They're not even Arabs. They lie, dude. Look at them. I swear to God, now. Go to Grok. Go to Grok. Go to Grok. Paternal haplogroup Druze. They're
So
okay.
you believe it's okay
They're
to ethnically
J2s.
cleanse them on the basis that they're not Arab? How are you any
No,
different from the
not that they're not
And I don't want to
Arabs.
hear this morality
They're not
game
that. Let me
that you
finish.
play about, oh my God,
Not that they're not Arabs. They're traitors. They're traitors. Blue, they're traitors. They're traitors. They're traitors. They're traitors.
They're traitors. Okay.
They're traitors.
So you
Look
think
at
it's okay to
right now
Not
raising
all
Israeli
of
flags.
them, not
Raising
all of
Israeli
them.
flags in Sueda. They're raising Israeli flags in Sueda. They're
Yes,
jumping
that's
up.
one
They're
sector. It's not the
jumping
whole
across the Israeli border. They're jumping across Druze in Israel, Arabs who are supposed to be Arabs,
This is
jumping
utterly
across the Israeli
meaningless.
border, going
This is
participating
utterly
in
meaningless,
terrorism.
and I'll tell you why it's utterly
And-
meaningless.
And you
Because
see
if you're
Druze
gonna-
arming and accepting arms and
if you're
calling
gonna-
for Israel to come and take over
If
Suez.
you're going
So that's
to
what we
say,
have. So yeah, if you're Arab and you're betraying
going to
Arabs, what
say-
should we do with traitors of their own kind?
Okay,
What should
look,
we do?
listen.
Yeah, I remember the law for that is you colonize it. You cull them. You cull
Okay.
them. That's exactly what you did.
So if your line in the sand is hoisting an Israeli flag, then I have some news for you about the Free Syrian Army. Anyway.
I'm sorry, like, bro, you're gonna come and tell me, I don't care, what leadership do I care about at the end of the day? I don't know any of the leadership. All I know is that this Giuliani guy managed to get the shit show that was all these Islamist factions into line and got them to obey and align themselves with Erdogan, and they got something done. And that's what, and I measure them by their accomplishments. And I might not necessarily trust, I didn't trust Giuliani at the beginning, but I trust that he's done enough that he has a record now. And so far, I'm going to judge him based on his record. But I've trusted Erdogan from the very beginning. So if Erdogan backs Giuliani, then I'm going to give Giuliani the benefit of the doubt. And so far, Giuliani has kept the Syrian people pretty happy when it comes down to standards in the shit show that is post Assad.
Everything I know
I don't know why this person's off me. But yeah, I think Giuliani, what I expect from a post Assad Syria, he's done with flying colors, and he's been very patient. Like Giuliani has been very patient, and these Druze till today are antagonizing, and it's about containment, and we're giving and he's giving them it's all about buildup. There is a buildup, and the Israelis are bombing these depots. These are Turkish weapons. These are Turkish depots that these Israelis have been bombing recently. Right before this Doha attack, the Israelis know what's up. They all know what's up. So the Israelis know what's up, and they just said, fuck the negotiations, fuck you Qatar, and fuck you Turkey. We see what's up. Like, this is what they're going. The Israelis are calling us out. They know what's up. So we know what's up. Everybody knows what's up. I think let's just say it. We're coming for each other, and it's going to happen. And if it's going to happen in Syria, if it's going to happen it's happening. They made their choice, and it is. The Syrians are not going to live in misery. They're not going to live under the hegemony of Israel. They are going to live as a strength, and they're going to be like Turkey. And if you don't want that Turkey on your border, then come do something about it. Come do something about it. And Netanyahu, keep doing what you're doing. Good luck. We love it. I believe there needs to be a fire under the asses of a lot of these Arab leaders, even under Erdogan, even under the Egyptian military. There needs to be a fire under our asses. And sure, I want Bibi to be this fire. And if it's going to cost us some, some civilian escorts of some diplomats to get it done, some failed operation by Netanyahu to get it done, then more thank you for it. Well, good job. Like, I want it. Let's go. And not to be like a crazy person here, but if anybody saw the UFO footage that apparently has been circulating, and you had like the congresswoman from Florida bringing it up, the representative, and saw a UFO get hit by what was it? Forgot what that missile's called. But they showed it getting hit, and it just kept flying. So I'm just saying, if that footage is real, there's aircraft that can take on a missile and keep going. I don't know what it is. No one knows. I don't. It's serious enough that military testified. So it's seems to be real. I don't know. But saying there are technologies out there that apparently we don't know about. So just like, well, it's not the United States, so I wonder who it is. I wonder who it is. Guy wants to like still dream about Assad and some sort of Iran axis and all that bullshit. You know, Iran was just doing its thing. It got what it wanted. It's controlling Iraq. The Americans are leaving Iraq. They're all butthurt that the Iranians are controlling Iraq, and they're making these investments in Iraq, and Iraqis are making a lot of money, and they're just butthurt about it. So we're gonna leave now, and we're gonna let these Iranians take over. Like they already took over. They already took over. So Iran used the region. They used the Hezbollah. They just had their way in Syria. They had their little religious orgies in Damascus, and they bounced. Like that's what happened. Let's be honest. Like when it comes down to the blood, the casualties of the Iranians, and since October 7th, they're still on the least to suffer casualties. So Iranians are good. They win too. It's like they never cared about us to begin with. We demanded some payment for using the cause. That's it. But Iran was oppressing. It was actually in the favor of Israel, destroying Sunni countries and spreading sectarianism and violence in these countries. Like this serves Israel only. So, and that's why Nasrallah and Hezbollah was so confident. They were like, that Israel wouldn't decapitate them. Like they were so confident because they felt like in a way they were doing Israel's job. Like at the end, an enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? Like that if you decapitate me, like the Sunnis are gonna push in, right? And Turkey's gonna push in. Like Nasrallah really thought like that you could Israel would not be that stupid. But he miscalculated, and he paid the price. Oh well. I mean, that's what happens. You shouldn't gamble. Nasrallah gambled. I thought he was supposed to be some sort of imam or something. It's all good. I think we need to get our air defenses. We need to get our stealth fighters. We need to build our own shit. Like this should teach us a lesson. And Israel needs to be punished, and we have the power to punish them. So see, but the Arabs have been called out. I think let's see what they can do. But to call out Turkey, that's ballsy. That's ballsy. I mean, you're itching for it. You see it happening in Syria. They see all the depots and they see all the weapons, and they're like shitting themselves, and they're like, I'm gonna just start calling you guys out right now. I'm like, don't give away the plot. Like don't reveal the movie. No spoilers. Yeah, there you go. No spoilers. Like don't spoil it. Like that's supposed to be something for like 10 years from now. Like It's like they just want to rush it, like, you know, which I don't blame them. Like, at the end of the day, what are you gonna, if you stop the war, then Syria is just gonna build up. It's gonna build up all its weapons. Syria's gonna just build up all its weapons because there's no war. You gotta respect the borders of the other countries and all that, you know. And then what? You're just gonna watch Syria at a distance just build up its weapons and build Turkish military bases and infrastructure and like start flying 4th gen and 5th gen aircraft? Like, is Israel just gonna sit there and watch that happen? Of course not. Of course it's not gonna sit there and watch that happen. Don't be stupid. So this war is going to continue, and it should continue, and it's going to involve Syria, it's going to involve Lebanon, and that's if the Egyptians and the Jordanians like don't get involved. I mean, at this point, like Israel attacking Qatar is a good reason like to like start moving. Like, you know, now the Gulf country has been attacked. I mean, it might be taking it a bit far, but like, you know, maybe we can press the Israelis a bit more using the Egyptian military. I don't know. But if we're just gonna rely on like the Syrians, I don't. The Israelis are not gonna let us. Like, they're just gonna keep going. They're gonna spread the war to Syria. So, and if the war spreads to Syria, like, it's just gonna. Turkey's gonna have to get involved. So it's inevitable. It's inevitable. Like, we're facing a global war, and Israel isn't gonna take the L. So it is what it is. I think this strike just proves it. Like, Israel's committed at this point. I think like the strike symbolizes the end of negotiations, the commitment to war, the commitment to regional war. You attack Qatar, you call out Turkey. It's straight. Israel is being very clear. Like, that's it. Israel's being very clear on this. You know, or we're going for a regional war. Or we're going to threaten with a regional war. And if you guys don't want a regional war, you guys submit to our demands. Which is kind of what Edward was pressing earlier, kind of thing. We'll see. We see. Obviously, don't want to be frantic. They don't want to rush it. But I think kicking out the ambassador, the Israel's embassies, all that in the Arab world, that would be a start. I think that would be fair. And then going from there, that would be the first response. I just don't think Qatar is gonna let this slide. I don't think it's gonna. I think people underestimate Qatar a lot of times, and they forget that Qatar survived like a siege by other Gulf nations, and they brought Turkey into Qatar, and they've have a pretty modern air force. Like, I mean, you know, and they got a lot of wealth. They got a lot of money. And their gas is playing a key role in keeping Europe, you know, on its knees when it comes down to Russian gas. So that, and American gas. So. Qatar has quite a few cards to play, and it's an act of desperation, I think. But I like it. I like Netanyahu. I like keeps everything exciting. It's as expected. Sinwar really read Netanyahu like a book. Like, he read him like a book. Honestly, like, I didn't. Either Sinwar's a prophet or Netanyahu's that predictable, and he is. He's your boy. He's your Boy Scout. Like, that thing is, he's so good, and because he's optimal, it makes him predictable. And I didn't think, like, Sinwar's crazy, bro. Like, Leif is crazy, which I don't blame him. Like, they got to that point. Like, they're just like, fuck it, right? They're getting to that old age. Like, what are they gonna, like, old age and die? Like, what are they gonna do? Like, just, like, grow to be 80 and 90? Like, of course not. So, they use that against them. They pick the timing, like the way the domino effects are falling. Like, it's just like when they said regional war, like, it was like, and like Sinwar's been talking about this. This wasn't new. Like, Sinwar and like officials in Hamas have been like discussing this. We have videos go back to like 2014 almost. Like, it's not something that's been hidden. Like, this notion of this like large scale attack and kidnapping and taking captives or POWs or whatever. Like, even taking hold of kibbutzes on the outskirts. Like, they even discussed that. So that's all been discussed in public. So that they were able to pull this off, even though that they gave out this information. Israel knew that Hamas had these capabilities, and yet they still got them regardless, and like spectacularly like humiliate them on October 7th. I mean, I don't know what it was about the RPGs on October 7th, but those things one-shotted those Merkavas. Like, I was like, I still have the footage. I look at it and I'm like, what changed about the tanks that, like, this is, like, not how it is now? I don't know. I guess that reactive armor does really kick in, doesn't it? We give it less credit than it's due. But yeah, that shit saves lives, huh? Yeah. But it was spectacular failure, and they got him. Like, Hamas has been pretty good so far at like predicting every move. Like, they've been ahead, and I think like the strike is clearly like frustration of that. At the end of the day, you got Khalid Mishal and Hayya. They're just like in Doha. They're just like chilling, and they're like negotiating from like villas and shit. Like, they're not. It's at the end of the day, it's like, they're chill. Doesn't seem like anybody's panicking. Like, Hamas is chill enough to like negotiate and then negotiate again and negotiate again, and like they're just chilling in Doha. Like, fuck that shit. I mean, they're winning. They're winning. I don't know. They're winning. Who would have thought? Like, I'm a Hamas groupie too, but like, shit, like, Gazans, right? Like, how sophisticated can they be? Like, they're sophisticated, right? Yeah, they got it down to a formula. Listen, in Gaza, there was a very popular game we played, and all the top kids, like smart kids, and it was a skill. Like, we would go to cafes and we would play strategy games, military strategy, and it was Command and Conquer Generals. And in Command and Conquer Generals, there are only 3 factions. There's the Global Liberation Army, which represents the Muslim Ummah. Like, literally, it's the Muslims. And then the United States of America, and then China. There's not even a European faction. Like, it's just like, that's truly what it is. And And we're in this game. The game is a world war, a global conflict, where China, the United States, and the Muslim world are interlocked in this war. And in this game, the GLA doesn't have an air force. You don't even have an air force. So you're fighting, and the tactics are tunnels. You use tunnels, you use mass mobs, you use like garrisons in buildings, biological warfare, missile systems. You have like long range missile systems, and you're playing this. And people in Gaza have been playing this game for at least like what, the 2010s. So it was a very popular game, by the way. And they've been playing this for a decade, like over like 2 decades now. So, when I see what's happening in Gaza, it reminds me a lot of that game. I see like the tunnels and the hit and run tactics, and it's just like the back of the pickup trucks. Like that's a unit you actually buy in that game. That's your first unit. You spam that unit a lot. Like you want a lot of, these pickup trucks because they're very mobile and fast. So I'm just saying, like the Gazan mind has been like tech savvy, dude. There's like strategy, and they strategize it. Like they're all about like gamifying it all. And I mean, we have your strategy book. We've got the Israeli strategy book, so we know what you did in Lebanon. So we know the playbook. We know exactly what you got. So we know that we're not going to be the PLO. Like there's no surrendering. Like you're not going to surround the camps like Sharon did, and with the tanks, and there's no Christian militia, Maronite crazy heads that are going to come in and do your dirty work. And you guys are too scared to do your own dirty work. So it's like, you're checkmated. And human shields, you want to say human shields all day long. Who gives a shit? We got 700,000 people in Gaza City. Come take it. Come take it. Come take it. Gaza City is where it's all at. That's where the business is. That's where the mind, that's where the heart is. That's where it's everything is Gaza City. You know that. You left it for last. You went through it, okay, but you didn't. See, I thought you might have done worse, but I'm looking at it. I got to see some of the aerial footages and stuff. And there's still a lot of Gaza City. It's hit. It's battle hardened. Yeah, it's battle rocked for sure. Towers have gone down, but there's still enough there to recognize it. And there's a lot of people still there, and they're not leaving. And these are like the motherfucking stubborn people. These are the Gazans, and these are like the high-level refugee Palestinians who made it. So you're dealing with the cream of the crop, and it's not going to be a cakewalk, and we already saw it's not a cakewalk, right? So, And what's up with the Israeli military? Like, just, you got people running up to tanks and just, like, dropping explosives in them. Like, how many times is that going to happen? Like, I mean, I'm already counting, so this is the 3rd time this happens. I mean, there's 4 soldiers in Gaza. Like, what was that about? Like, what was that? Wasn't that a waste of life? Like, that's America for that tank, by the way. That's like millions of dollars. That's like 4 people. And imagine the extraction of that charred up tank with 4 IDF bodies in it. Like, you can imagine that kind of processing, right? You can imagine the man hours that's going to take to, like, peel these people out of that tank, right? people don't measure all those costs. Like when a military, like they think a military is just like a bunch of soldiers with guns and like they like point them that way. They don't know there's a whole like mini society running behind, and all of that is the military, and that costs a lot of fucking money. They don't know that. You know. So just like park there, like it's fucking weird in the middle of Gaza, like with a hatch open. Like what the fuck mentality is that? Like what kind of military training is that? Just like pops it, throws it an explosive, and just like runs off. Like these kids are gonna be like movie stars, like in for the future generation. Like these guys are just like, you know, imagine now you're a 10-year-old Gazan kid watching this shit. Like imagine that. Like that's fuel for a whole new generation right there. And my generation is fueled by like a few little kids that have thrown rocks at tanks and got like killed. But this generation is gonna be fueled by like a bunch of like 20-year-olds, maybe even younger, or maybe like 20s, maybe young 30s, maybe running up to tanks and like just blowing them up. So, yeah. I don't. If this is what it means to have a Gaza.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Yeah, you want to say anything?
My sentence. Yes.
Well, you wake up and then come back. Yeah, unless Israel can really commit to Gaza, like I don't. But this doesn't look like committing to Gaza, does it? It looks like you're, you know, if an operation in Gaza looks like you parking tanks and just leaving hatches open, then not gonna do in Gaza. Like, I don't know, maybe they're waiting to get resupplied with like bunker busters from America. I don't know, maybe they're not manufacturing them fast enough. I don't know. Maybe the killer Death Star needs to be cooled down. But, you know, if they're like worse, if them doing their worst is gonna take them a year, then, you know, if it's gonna take a year, you already lost. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's gonna take you a whole year. You already should just call it. Starting wars with the whole region isn't gonna do you a favor. It's not gonna, you know, just accept it. The whole Zionist project, it was never meant to succeed in the region to begin with. Go down quietly, don't go down, you know, don't try to be a suicide bomber. Don't, you know, there's no honor in this. Just go down, you know, peacefully. Everybody dies, you know, it's okay. You're chosen to die. You're the suffering servant, right? That's what they want to be. They want to be the suffering servant. They want to be Jesus. Let them be Jesus. The Jews have to suffer for the coming of salvation, right? Kind of sadistic logic, right? God chooses a people so they can suffer, so salvation can come. Salvation through suffering. Judaism. If I'm gonna suffer, I'm gonna make everyone suffer too. Not gonna lie.
You have this anon just sitting here. What's up, Dimitri?
Oh. So lazy being a mod.
Hey, Royal. Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good.
What's the
So what do you
topic?
think? We're talking about the strikes Israel did Qatar. Well,
Okay.
I mean, Mikhail's doing most of the talking. I'm kind of sick, so. Oh, he left. Yeah, I'm not really talking too much. I'm kind of just listening because I'm not feeling great myself.
Yeah, you're the sole mod now. Doctor, why don't you come up, bro? Dr. Omar.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hello, Freddy.
Hi, Burl. I heard that you're sick. I hope you have a speedy recovery from whatever disease you have.
I don't have a disease, but yeah, thanks.
Anyways, Royal, who are you thanking? You're thanking Israel for striking Qatar.
This is not my room, dude. This isn't my room, bro. No, it's the satire title.
Royal, do you actually have a cow?
No.
Oh.
Royal, that's not even you in the picture, I swear.
No, that's her. That's
no, man, this is an AI of me, bro. I don't care.
It's an AI, but it looks like you, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna post pictures of my actual face.
No, of course I understand that. Of course. But, like, this is very much how you look like. I'll take that as a no.
Shit, Freddy, you're that guy.
Which guy? The guy?
You're that guy.
What do you mean?
You're that guy everyone's got beef with.
Yeah, that's true. You got me.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Charlie Kirk. Let's talk about Charlie Kirk getting shot in the neck with a 308.
No, let's not.
I'm so bored of it at this point. Like, I really don't care.
Bro, somebody died. Somebody lost their life, and you're talking about boredom.
Yeah.
It's not about your entertainment, dog. It's about somebody's life.
Die every day. Who the fuck cares?
He had 2 children. He had a wife.
Okay, and children are being killed, bombed, raped.
He was 31 years old, bro, and he lost his life. He got shot in the neck.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate, but it's also
Now somebody else is gonna be fucking his wife.
Hundreds of thousands of people and all over the world who are being killed and slaughtered and raped. Like,
that's just you being fallacious. It doesn't matter. Every life has a value.
What does that even mean?
It's like a fallacious way of reasoning is what I'm trying to say.
I bet his wife is happy as fuck. I bet they have life insurance. I bet she's happy she's about to be a millionaire. I'm sure she is.
But somebody else, I know she might be happy, but what I'm gonna say is, like, I'm sure Charlie isn't happy.
Well, Charlie's dead. He has no time to be happy or sad.
Yeah, that's true.
I think this is going to be the start to, like, more deaths of influencers, though. Because essentially that's what he was. He wasn't, like, a fucking political pundit. He didn't have, like, the same amount of, like, clout or significance as like Tucker Carlson and these other ones. He was just a fucking influencer, and I think slowly we're going to start to see like a lot more of these kinds of things happening amongst.
You think the next is Ben Shapiro?
We're not that lucky, but I hope so.
Well, obviously this was like controlled. This was done by the Trump administration. Like, there's no fucking way somebody else did this.
Bro, honestly, that's what I thought as well. I think
it's probably some random motherfucker.
No, Mikhail, if it was a random motherfucker, he wouldn't. He would. You know the fact that they shot him in the neck. Yeah.
Yes, that was not. That was
not a hard shot.
No, it's not. It's not about being a hard shot. Listen, I myself have played nationals in sniping, right? So I'm gonna tell you,
people would make that shot.
Yeah, it's not a problem. Making the shot is not a problem. The point to be understood in this entire situation is that he was shot in the neck, not in the head, not in the chest, not anywhere else, but in the neck. Why would you shoot somebody in the neck when you have a clear view of their head? Because you want to make it dramatic. You want to make it bloody. You want to get the attention of the masses. You know, you got to think like a sniper. You can shoot somebody in the head, and it'd be very anticlimactic.
I get it.
Yeah, you know. So it was done for a show.
I think maybe maybe the person was aiming for the head and they missed. You never know. They just got
You just said it was an easy shot, and now you're saying that he missed.
There's always going to be a margin of error.
Could you imagine?
There's always going to be a margin of error.
The same thing they done with Trump. Trump like sat there with his cronies and was like, "Well, when someone tried to shoot me and they missed, it worked out really well. Let's try and do it with this guy." And they just fucked up the whole thing. That would be funny.
He was shot in the neck on purpose. From the impact, I could tell it was a 308. The way his body did that.
It's fucked up.
It's fucked up. But that's the world we live in. I wouldn't kill somebody for their opinion, because I'm not like them. You know what I mean? But, did I like this guy? Fuck him, no. But now he's dead, so I'm not gonna talk bad about him. Because he's dead.
Yeah. Wow. Look what someone wrote.
Well, that's an easy way to get your account banned. I would suggest you delete that comment if you want this account.
Yeah.
Say for,
So, yeah, what's this about? It's about Trump having a stroke, is that right, Chucky?
I've seen the video where his mouth is falling down one side, isn't it?
Oh, my bad. I was watching the news earlier, when he was making his speech, people were speculating that he had a stroke, but nothing came out officially.
What did he look on TV?
His mouth was like falling down on one side, like it looked like he had a stroke, yeah, but a mild stroke probably.
We'll have to look that up.
We didn't hear that, Mitch.
I believe he deserves far more than that.
Hi, Lulu.
Yeah, we didn't hear you, Danny, either.
Sorry. So I said that Trump is far more bigger punishment than what you think with the mild stroke. Because you can't be complacent, with this genocide and you think God is gonna give you good life. Never.
How are you, Lulu?
Yeah, good evening, Scotty. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Sky. Long time no speak. Hey.
A fellow Brit.
A fellow Brit in it.
Get me.
Guy does know me. Maybe he's just pretending he doesn't at this point.
I was just talking. Yeah, hey Lula, you got another new name.
I know. I like to just keep people on their toes. How you doing, bud? You all right? Keeping well?
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah.
Very pleased to hear that. Good to see you.
Yeah, Scotty's only been on this app like 3 weeks now, is it, Scotty?
Yeah.
You know,
And you haven't gone insane yet, no?
I'm on my way.
I know that Lula's been on. I've been on this 5 years, and I think Lula's been on it like 4.5 at least.
I'm 4 years next week, actually. Yeah, okay. September 21. Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting space, that's for sure.
I managed to get a house up to 2,200 in 2.5 weeks.
Well, that's very impressive. Well done. You obviously got a lot of good stuff to say.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. It depends on you lot. I'm just watching this video here and seeing if he's had a stroke or not. He said it's never happened, it's fake news. Perhaps referring to another candidate from another party.
Certainly looks like a stroke. His mouth hanging down one side, and he looks really out of it.
It's very interesting to listen to you guys, you know. Hey, you have stroke, you know. It's like both of you waiting for that to happen.
No, because that's what his face. I want to see if he can use his face or not.
Yeah, he can.
Is this today that this has happened?
Yeah, apparently.
No, like the guy has like.
It doesn't look any different to me though.
No. I think you know, like from.
Maybe Melania just slapped him.
Medically, he can have stroke. You know, he's probably obese, not just overweight. Sufficiently aged. Okay. And I don't know. I don't think that he's a healthy guy, so he can have stroke. He's prone to have stroke.
It might either be his actual distress about what happened last night, or his acting distressed about what happened. Not that I'm a cynic about Trump or anything.
I wouldn't wish him dead or anything. Jesus Christ, no.
Oh no, I meant because of what happened with Charlie Kirk. He could be just so distraught by it because it was his mate that he's upset and that's why he looks different today. Or it could be that he's putting that on slightly because he's also Donald Trump. But I don't wish harm on anyone, including Charlie Kirk. I think it's terribly sad.
Me too. Exactly the same.
Donald Trump doesn't care about anyone except himself.
But he does care about his image, right? So if he looks like he's been troubled by it, then that he would think that he would get sympathy as well, because he's going to utilise this to rally more free speech.
Yeah.
There's no doubt at all. I mean, there's actually a lot of conspiracy theories that he martyred Charlie Kirk in order to push that narrative. I mean, I so hope that's not the case. But honestly, I wouldn't put anything past him.
Well, you do get a thing called free speech, but you can't get free speech without consequences. So, in Britain, you know where we are, we're allowed to say what we want when we want. But this just goes to show that you can say what you want and you can do what you want when it comes to things like free speech. But it does come with consequences.
Yeah, and it's interesting. My dad was saying earlier that it's sad that a young man's lost. I was talking to my parents on the phone about it, and he was saying, it's sad that this is a young man, a father who's lost his life, but actually how much violence has he incited by some of the things he said against other people. So you're right, there are consequences to that. It doesn't mean it's right he's been killed, but it's like, violence, hate breeds hate. Love breeds love, right? The old Martin Luther King quote. Better than I put, but...
Yeah, it's striking. It's never true where it said you can say what you want, and we can say what we want. Like I could say some nasty things to some people, but it does have consequences. It can ruin the rest of their day, for instance, or it could cause their older brother, their older sister to come and exact revenge of their own type on me or whatever. So there is to a degree you can say what you want. It depends on what level you're prepared to do that. Sometimes, like my gran would say to me, you say it best when you say nothing at all, like the old song used to go. The Westlife song, I believe.
Yeah, Ronan Keating, wasn't it? You say
Ronan
best when you say nothing at all. Yeah, it's sad that.
Yeah, sometimes it makes a bigger difference. It makes more of an impact when you don't say nothing at all.
Sometimes it's better to just hold your peace, isn't it?
Yeah, and just keep it held inside because, like you said, there's a father with two kids. It's not now. They've got to grow up without a dad now. But he took that, especially with the things he was talking about. Anybody with common sense would know that's a hot topic to talk about, and some things you just do not talk about, and you do not talk about it to that stage where you're on a stage worldwide.
And if you think about historically, like someone like Martin Luther King was assassinated because he was, quote, controversial, which is crazy for us now, but he was at the time, but he was peaceful. He wasn't inciting hatred, he was inciting love, and he was still assassinated. So obviously if you're going to be inciting hatred, which, he was with a lot of the things he was saying, particularly about the LGBT community, about race, about all kinds of things, and then weaponizing his Christianity against people, and I'm a Christian myself, and I still recognise that's what he was doing, then that is going to push a lot of buttons, and in a very unstable world where mental health is at its highest, in a place where you can buy a gun in a shop, it's risky. And again, I'm not saying it's okay, but I think, you or I going around our lives are not going to incur the same kind of level of threat, are we?
Yeah. Did you see him saying that a few gun deaths a year is a price worth paying for
Second Amendment
protection?
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. I don't think he would have changed anything. I think even if you told Charlie Kirk, you said, "Hey, look, you're gonna have to die for your cause. You're gonna get shot in your neck in front of your kids." I don't think that would have changed anything, to be honest with you.
No, me neither. How are you, Lozen?
I'm good, but I don't know why my baby's crying.
Oh, bless you. See, I wouldn't know it was you until you spoke again then, because I've had that many. I've called that many people Lozen, and it's not been you. It's just your voice. I can tell when it's you now, because the name changes. I can't keep up with. Why can't everybody just be called the same name like me?
Yeah, sorry, Scotty. This is like my other account too. This is like my chill account. But
I've got another account as well.
Yeah. Usually I don't speak up that much on this account, but yeah, I mean, see, that's the thing. I don't even really. I've never really liked Charlie Kirk, but
Oh, really? Wow. He's such a likable guy, though. What a lovely guy he was.
I feel sympathy for his kids. I feel sympathy for his wife in the sense that, like, they're, I don't know, maybe not, I don't know about his wife, but his kids for sure. And, like, I see a lot of people saying, like, kind of celebrating his death, and it's like, you become a person like him, like with the gun thing, I also believe in my amendment rights because I don't know, that's kind of just, I don't want a tyrannical government to come and try and murder me and all of my fellow countrymen. But
yeah, but that's what's happening in America now anyway. And you got so many guns, but when are you going to start fighting back with this tyrannical government?
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, I get it, but shoot. Sorry, I keep getting distracted.
I find it a really interesting perspective, the idea that I have a gun to stop gun crime. I'm not saying
I don't even think it's to stop. It's kind of like what
hang on, sorry. I'm not saying that's exactly what you're saying, but I hear that a lot from Americans. And obviously, as Brits, we find it bizarre that it's kind of something that people just have away in a cupboard and you can buy in a shop. And I hear, well, it's to lower gun crime, but that's clearly not working. So, I mean, I would just get rid of the guns myself, but, you know, that's just me.
I mean, that's really shitty. Plus, considering that loads of Brits are getting stabbed on a daily basis, like, not even from guns, or from knives that you buy from a professional store.
This is just absolutely... Yeah, but you can't do the same mass damage with a knife. You're right, knife crime has increased, but you can't create the same damage with a knife as you can with a gun.
Can I just add to that? Can I just add, not on knife crime.
Can I say something here?
The whole idea of like this
Can I?
ban guns and all of that stuff. No, I think what there should be, just like in the UK.
Can I just add to that, Aaron, quickly?
I think there's a level of extremes where one side just completely wants to ban, another side think they're allowed to buy a fucking AK from a Walmart, and I think that's obviously ridiculous. But there needs to be a kind.
No, I was just agreeing with you. That's how I feel. Like, I don't think that they should be so unregulated. I don't think any freaking whack job should be able... And also, I think you should be forced to take classes periodically. Like, every 6 months to a year, you should be forced to take gun safety classes, because it's... Honestly, it's amazing how many people own guns and they know nothing about gun safety or anything. They don't make them take classes. You know, I could go to Walmart right now and buy a gun. That's the thing that I really don't like, you know? But you continue. I was just agreeing with you because, yeah, I mean, it's like one thing to own guns. That's why we have the amendment, right? But to just make them accessible to any crazy a-hole,
I completely agree. But what I don't like is when people try and draw the argument of, like, the UK being, and I'm not saying Lula done this, but, like, a lot of people in Europe or in other countries, they kind of, like, draw the argument and they try and present ourselves as if we're just so civilized and, like, modern, all of this stuff. I think at the same time, Britain is a bit ridiculous. Like, if someone comes into your house to try and burgle you or hurt you and your family, you can't fucking hurt them. Like, it's ridiculous. But
but I'd rather that than kill someone with a gun.
Can I say something?
You don't have to kill someone, but I mean, like, if it's a case where it's you or them and they're physically trying to hurt.
Yeah, but Dimitri, let me just say something to that, right? When is the last time you've heard on the news or chat GPT or whatever you like to do that you've ever seen or heard of anyone in the last 25 years of anybody that's gone into somebody else's home while they've been inside that home and burgled them and used a knife or a gun?
Bro, are you joking? Like, it happens all the fucking time in the UK. All kinds of burglaries happen.
Tell me once.
I mean, I couldn't give you a specific date off the top of my head right now. I'm fucking close.
Or one case.
Bro, you're being ridiculous. Look it up yourself.
I'm not being ridiculous. I'm not being... listen.
Bro,
Right,
there's literally like...
I've done a lot of looking into this one particular subject because one of my friends was knife. He was one of the victims of a knife crime. Yeah, knife crime in the UK is predominantly a knife crime. You know the offender. The offender who commits that crime to the person knows that person randomly walking into a house, burgling a house, or doing it me walking down the road or somebody else. It's never heard of. Right, like it as if you were going to get shot in America into a mall. Somebody walks into a mall, starts stabbing everyone, or somebody walks into a supermarket and starts stabbing everyone here. It's near enough unheard of. Only the last couple of times has been when we had them terrorist attacks, and the geezer attacked the other guy with a narwhal whale tusk to try and protect himself and a fire extinguisher. That's really randomly a one-off. Our kids, our teenagers, going and fighting postcode fights with another group of teenagers with knives, pulling them out and having fights. That's common. That's becoming more common. We've got an issue around that. But that's a knife crime on knife crime that people know each other. When it comes to like people burgling houses, it's absolutely rubbish. We had Tony Martin who shot the farmer who they broke into his mum and dad's house. They run away from him. As they run away from him, the two people that broke in, he shot them in the back, shot one of them in the back and killed him. He got life for that. They jailed him for life, and then they changed it from life to 6 years of manslaughter in prison. because everybody went mad about it. That was the last case that was ever heard of. The homeowner used excessive force. Now, we're allowed to use reasonable force, but not excessive. So, in other words, if somebody comes into your house with a spoon and starts stealing ice cream out your fridge, you can't then go and get an AK-47 and shoot him and kill him. That's not the way it happens.
And it's a false equivalence, right, with the knives and the guns, because the gang crime, and even in a school, there have been odd occasions where kids have taken a knife into school here, and it's awful. And if anyone is killed in violent crime, it's awful, even one individual.
Of course.
But when people go into schools in America, they kill like 15, 20 people with a gun, right? We're talking mass killings. That's the difference between knives and guns.
And that goes far as saying in America they shouldn't have any guns anymore because it's been going on for that.
Can I please say something here about it? But with all respect, Benji, just I need to talk because So of course. So I don't think that this issue of crime rates it would be resolved with like you guys have been talking, like looking for the magical solution. Okay, hey, either ban all firearms, or just hey, let's compare it to no, let's keep them. But hey, look what you have. You have in your country, you don't have firearms, and yet you have a lot of crimes. Well, I think that you can't make first any comparison between the UK and the US because they are both so different countries, like very different countries. First, from the culture first, the mindset of people, the mindset of criminals. A criminal in the US would never do the same thing in the UK, or like someone in the UK. If you compare, the kind of crimes in both countries, they are so different, so different. And to be honest, the UK, or in the UK, would have I think, and correct me here if I'm wrong, you expect a more rapid and quick answer from security forces than the US, and then someone living in God knows where in the US, in that large territory, someone maybe in the mountains, or I don't know in which hole, and being aggressive, and he needs to defend himself. I have my young brother, by the way, living in the US. I didn't say this to anyone. And he is married there. He has his own firearms. And when he talks to me about because we've had this discussion for a lot of times. And when he explained to me his perspective, why he is having this firearm, okay, and how is that important in the US, and how the Americans, they see a personal firearm or a firearm inside your house, okay, you cannot disagree with him. You cannot, you see. And if you're gonna say, hey, those firearms are causing, occasional shooting, yes, they are so horrible, they are so terrifying. And personally, I would never, see myself living there. I hear about school shooting, and I say, hey, who knows that maybe, God forbid, my kid another day would be there, okay, victim of those school shootings. So I say, you know what, that country is not for me, okay? There are people who can adapt with that, good luck. But at the same time, just a moment. Scotty, so that's the moment. So, but at the same time, I cannot, say that everything is okay in the UK because firearms are banned. You ban firearms, you know what you would have? You would have clandestine firearms or smuggling.
Yeah, but that's not what we've had. We had. Can I just reference something really quickly? Right, so we had.
I'll let him finish because I think
we want you to respond. We want you to respond to it. It's called an interjection.
Scotty, I'm gonna finish this sentence. You've been talking a lot. So
can you land those? Right, so
you would have, if you ban them, you have other means of crimes: acid attacks, knives attacks, smuggled firearms, and maybe, and if it's not really hard, explosive, and you never heard probably about the 3D printed firearms. You can have them. Those you cannot even trace them. You cannot even detect them. You cannot even know who shot that person with God knows which firearms printed in some house with a 3D printer. Thank you for this.
Right, so first, so we had...
Where you going?
That's.
But I think his point was
can I speak without being Well, yeah, I haven't actually finished, Dimitri. If you could stop.
You were cutting off Lula.
in the building.
You were cutting off Lula. We couldn't hear you.
Thank you, Sky. So first of all, can you hear me clearly now?
I can hear you, Lula.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. So first of all, it doesn't seem like you know a lot about the UK because we don't have loads of guns being printed out, loads of clandestine knife crime. The last mass shooting in the UK was somewhere early 90s in Dunblane in Scotland, where a man who had an unregulated gun walked into a school and shot up a load of kids. Pre that, about 5 or 10 years before, there was another man that walked through the streets of Hungerford near Berkshire and did the same and killed loads of people. Both of those people had severe mental health issues and had access to guns. Guess what happened? We stopped people having access to guns and we haven't had a mass shooting since, thank God. There have been odd occasions, but we haven't got loads of clandestine shootings going on. That's not the case. You're not wrong, we have crime. But the point I'm trying to make is that you don't get mass killings.
Fuck Israel.
That was pleasant. You don't get mass killings from these things. What you do get is, thank you for the hearts as well, random. What you do get is individual or smaller amounts of people impacted with those attacks. We've got problems. I'm not suggesting at all that the UK doesn't have problems, but I would never want guns here, and I'm so glad that after not even the Dunblane was a mass shooting, and straight after that the law changed and we haven't had any mass shootings since, and please God may that
you guys took away the guns and substituted with knives, so now you guys just
right, and I've just said there's not mass killings from knife attacks. Like, listen to what
yes there is.
There isn't resistance. There isn't.
Yeah, can I speak?
No,
let Dimitri go. Let Dimitri go.
Has a point.
Can I?
Yeah, let Dimitri go. Let Dimitri go now.
Yeah, so initially when I first started speaking, one of the things I said is that I really don't like this idea of like absolutes, and I think CP kind of picked up on that like the US and the UK are very different kind of societies. There's a lot of different culture and things like that at play. But I think the bottom line is that there's no perfect scenario, neither in America nor in the UK. Whether we don't have a big enough gun problem, we do have major problems, and we all know that theft right now in London is rife, and in a lot of cases, and I think it's a reasonable reaction, but more often than not, you have a few people chasing a guy with a Rolex who are wielding a fucking Bowie knife or a zombie knife, and he can't do anything. So I don't think that's a good idea either. But I think both of these places need some kind of like fucking intervention where someone steps in and says, really and truly, if someone's coming after you, you can go to this resort. And I think in America at the same time, there needs to be some more regulation. Now, I'm not saying that guns in the UK is the ultimate solution.
But you can't compare like having something still.
Yo, I keep trying to speak. Hey, hang on a second. I just want to say that I keep hearing Americans saying that, knife crime in UK. And yeah, there is some, but I think there's a really distorted view of lots of Americans that we have mass knife crimes like you guys have mass shootings in America. It's nothing like that.
No one's saying is the same equivalent. What we're saying is there definitely is knife problems.
Nobody said anything against that.
You got
Nobody said that's not the case.
Machetes coming out of their underwear.
That's not happening all the.
I'm sorry, I do have to agree with him. I do think that is actually a major problem. I mean,
You were just talking about a theft, though, Dimitri. You're saying someone's trying to steal something from you with a knife. That's not the same. Hang on. I didn't get a chance to respond to you before. You said someone comes after your knife for your Rolex. Well, you know what you do? You give them the Rolex. It shouldn't be happening, but that's not the same as being shot in the head in the...
Yeah, but I also said that's not the ultimate solution. But I've also wanted to say quickly that my nephew, he's actually had a lot of trouble going to school now because kids on the tram on his way to school have zombie knives. So I have to actually go.
Totally agree.
Like, it's ridiculous. It is out of hand.
Totally agree. But I want to just explain something to resistance.
Over here or there, but I'm saying there is major problems we need to address. Right?
Totally agree with you. Right, listen. Resistance, you've got to stop saying for me, for instance, you've got things that like it's going on rife and it's around here everywhere. I just explained earlier on before you got in the room, and we have got an issue with knife on knife crime, but it tends to be 85% of the time, it tends to be that it's known offenders on each other, normally between the ages of 12 to 13 years of old. It starts at normally, and I know that's way too young, all the way up till the early 30s, and it's postcode. They call it like postcode gang, basically. Gang culture, yeah. So I know I live in this postcode, that one lives in that one. He comes down my street. It's not random people. Not normally, it's not random. Like he just said, it's very very rare. Somebody coming up for his Rolex with a machete. That's quite rare. I know it's getting a problem in London with theft and all that. But when it comes to knife crime, it's normally known offenders on known offenders. As in just really walking down the street and getting hit by somebody I don't know, and randomly that's very far between. I'm telling you that now. I've lived here. I've walked these streets. I've been down these streets. I've been in Glasgow. I've brought up and bred in Glasgow, the biggest city in Scotland. And without a shadow of a doubt, I'm telling you right now, I've walked past gangs and they just let me walk past because I'm not in that gang. If I was in that gang and I walked past, I guarantee you I'm not walking past and I'd get stabbed or something. And we're the biggest knife crime in the centre of Europe, in Glasgow, in Scotland. But it's gang on gang. It's not randomness. Now, you just put guns into them people's hands that have got the postcode thing going on.
I never said that. You put pollution there.
No. I'm saying this is my point. For me, if you're America and everybody, and I know you're not going to agree with me because not one American I've ever spoken to in my whole life has ever agreed with me. If you've got rid of your gun crime, if you've got rid of your guns altogether, and when people would not be running around with knives, going to stab because it's too much of a personal thing. So, for instance, me come running after, or somebody come running after you, resistance, with a knife, I can guarantee you probably take that knife off them and probably leather them, just because of who you...
Much such that, like, there's no political dissension at all. There is no back and forth. There is no, like, discussion or rhetoric. Like, you say something about a particular government or even a member of parliament who's not even that high up, you get visited by what's called C10 officers, right, who operate like outside of their jurisdiction, operate in a completely different country. So for example, right now, as I'm saying this shit, right, luckily I don't have to worry about this, but as I'm saying this shit right now, it shouldn't surprise any of you if tomorrow you hear, oh, Huey's off the app. What's going on with Huey? I got approached by C10 officers, right? It's the Central Intelligence Officers of Zimbabwe, right? Like, for criticizing the Zimbabwean government, even though...
It's one of those things where people and their rhetoric, they have a right in this country. I believe in freedom of speech. But the reality is that people have the ability, not the rights, or even the legal right, but the ability to do unspeakable things behind being unhinged in hearing certain people's free speech opinions. So all that I'm asking from my fellow man is just to be kinder to each other. Tone down the rhetoric. Try to have the conversations without the gotcha moment, the aspersions, and the overall chaos that's gotten us to this point.
Thank you for that. That's important, and I appreciate you saying that. It seems like that's not very difficult to do, right? I mean, we're essentially doing that in the room right here. You have to pull out of people, you have to have a group